Hi, she's Trixie and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 127 today.
Yes.
And my daughter's on her midwinter break, and it really is starting to feel like spring despite what time of year we're in. Just in our general area, it's starting to warm up, the snow is melting, and there's just a nice genuinely nice temperature outside right now.
Well, not only that, but the lighting has changed.
Yeah.
So it looks more like spring.
And I don't know, I feel like this is just a season. Not just weather-wise, but just where we're at in the grand scheme of getting the house or getting our spaces organized.
Yeah.
I feel like there's enough people that I feel are going through that, not just me, that it just seems like, okay,
it's time.
It's time.
Yep.
I feel like there's this general consensus as I get older that spring cleaning is a real thing, and I don't know what it is. It kind of reminds me of, the birds that just destroy their prairie nests, they just kind of dump it out kind of thing. I don't know if that's really true, but just that look of knocking things out, getting things dusted, cleaning out the house sort of things. I have all these cartoon moments running through my head, but just because I don't even know if words do that, but it's this feeling of really re-energizing the space. I'm so excited to even just leave a door or window open to get the old air out.
Yeah.
Just there's so much I'm super excited about. And so without further ado, I feel like we're in the midst of, our crafts and what we're doing even just shows off just the whole, we're stepping away from the darker colors, stepping away from the more holiday festive feel. We're finally getting back into the
fun and the colors.
Mm-hmm.
So last week I showed you the Red Heart ombre yarns that I had picked out.
By the way, I saw those at Walmart.
Did you?
These ones.
Okay. And the pink is called Jazzy, and the blue is called Deep Teal. And I am having a ball with this. This is fun. I decided to do a granny stripe with it, and it is turning out so beautiful. And I want to show you
Do I need help?
No, that's one skein. Now there's 100 stitches across, because on a granny stripe you do 3s and then 1 plus 1 at the end. So I did 99 plus 1. And then because it looks like seashells, and because the colors are ombre, it's kind of looking like a mermaid tail. Because of that, when I showed my granddaughter how it was looking, she's already, in love with it. Are you making it for me? And so I don't know if I am or not. I honestly,
fine.
I know that the length of this that I would like it to be, with it being a lap blanket, I would like it to be at least this high. I'm going to need a couple more colors. So I'm going to be going to look for more colors as this progresses, because I'm loving the ombre yarn, just the progression of the colors and the way it looks, and even the stitch. I'm having fun with it. It's a no-brainer. You do 3 in each. It's something you can do during your TV watching time and not have to think about it too much. It's not a pattern that you actually have to look down and see what your next move is. It's just
mindless.
You do 3 and you go over to the next one, you do 3 more. You just keep going. And it's really, really fun. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully I can have maybe the teal going and the new colors next week that I picked out. So what are you working on?
Okay, so last week when I left you, it was Valentine's Day, because we always film on the Wednesday before we have it air on Friday.
Yes.
Last Wednesday was Valentine's, and that day we end up having, for my personal account, both my kids have sets of like caps and different things in their mouth. They've had to have both dental procedures done on their teeth, on their baby teeth, and one of my son's caps came off. And it's one of those things where, like, when that one thing happens, almost everything else just kind of goes right out your head. And last week I was trying to kind of get into the whole thing of, I'm going to make them Valentine's dragons and do this and that, and I still have them. I was in a bucket. I put it on the back of my couch because my couch has a little table at the back of it, and just all these different things completely went right in, right out because of all this. And I have been gung-ho about cleaning my house this week. That's been my project. It's not something I can just show off to you because obviously, no, that's not what I want to show and tell here necessarily. But the feeling of re-energizing, bring new life to my home has been so rewarding. I feel like there's this feeling of when you are in hibernation mode with winter, that when you're finally opening up and cleaning out and getting rid of and reorganizing with all the new toys and all the new things you get for Christmas and just all the things, there's a genuine principle to cleaning out in the spring.
It's like a renewing.
It's a renewal, and I don't understand it. I don't know if there's actual science behind it, because obviously there's so much that even nature shows in that regard of cleaning out, refreshing, renewing that spring has. But I don't know. All I know is that that's the sort of project I have been genuinely stuck in. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that I've completely forgotten about all my work, because the reality is that it's actually revived some of my memory as to what I need to get done. Meaning that I'm not someone who puts my whips in order where it's like I put them in one location in the house.
Right.
They end up getting scatterbrained throughout the house, and organizing my house has been giving me this opportunity of collecting them all and kind of organizing how I want to accomplish getting them all done this year. And I have it in me to have all my whips done. That's one of the things I want to have done. Just all of them done. I want a fresh slate.
Yeah.
I want to know that I've accomplished everything that everyone's ever asked me to get done, and or that I set out to do myself.
Right.
I want to get that done. And I know that that's good for me, and I know that that'll be good for everyone involved that it's supposed to go to, or even just for things for myself. But I really think that will be good for me. And I love that because of multiple different reasons. I'm trying to be not only a better me, but a better example to my kids, to have things a little bit be like, you start something, you finish it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't have the right to slow down and catch up and have moments of pause. You're allowed that. You're not just having, don't make your life a bad experience just because you're setting unreasonable expectations on yourself. You have the right to rest, recuperate, those things.
Yeah.
That's something can pause for a minute. Priorities do matter, especially when it comes to health, mental health, being able to take a deep breath, whether this is actually relaxing or not, whether it's reasonable, But all I know is that, like, what I brought today is one small show and tell, one thing one of my whips I'm getting done, and a potential idea for how I'm revamping my house. I think for a while on the channel, I'm going to have something like that, where it's like a possible show and tell, a possible I am working on my whip for the week,
Right.
and a new idea I'm having, because this year I do want to make the dolls. This year I do have a lot of things I do, and I'm not trying to forget, but I'm really gung-ho about getting my house clean for multiple reasons. One of them kind of happened as an offshoot. I don't know if I remember if I've ever told anybody, but we've had 2 cats for a while, and they have not been friends.
Not compatible.
My one cat we've had since she was a kitten, and we've had her for several years. Her name is Cinder, and she's very awesome. And if you remember back to other videos way back in the beginning, you have seen her because our videos used to take place in my house.
Yeah.
Well then, a year or 2 ago, a year and a half ago, a circumstance where my grandparents passed. Then we had it where my grandparents' cat got brought into the care of my brother. Through circumstances, through him, he asked me to momentarily foster and or home him for a brief time, and then wasn't able to take him back. With that being said, that little short amount of time became a little bit more of a permanent situation. And we really thought we could make it work, but this cat is an older cat, was much more of a one animal home sort of a cat, and did not like loud sudden noises. So being around the kids was not always its favorite thing. And so we kind of separated him because he did not like Cinder, and he did not like, he just wasn't always gung-ho about being around the kids. So we kind of separated our trailer into one domain was Blue, which was his name, and one domain, one other half was Cinder, and we were very careful about how they interacted with each other. And for a while that worked out just absolutely fine. But over time, especially the last couple of months, Blue has had a bit of a decline. He's obviously been trying to tell us something, and we aren't cat experts by any stretch of the imagination, but he was trying to tell us that something needed to change. Something was distressing him, and one of the only common denominators that we could think is that he lived in the side of our home that was much more of our crafting area / master bedroom / storage area. And that had worked out just fine, but as my husband was going through that stuff to be able to do his version of cleaning and getting the house organized and getting things ready for new things and new beginnings and everything that it is that we're kind of in this season of getting done, it stressed Blue out. He did not like all that change, and he did not like the moving around, and it just, I won't go into details, but it caused some level of distress for him. And we recognized that for as much as we cared for him and as much as we wanted him to have a good life with us, the reality was that he was not having a good time. He was not enjoying his time with us because he couldn't live to his fullest, and we needed to find him a new home. And in doing so, we were able to rehome him with my aunt, who is, she does have grandkids of her own, but obviously no kids live with her, and she has no other animals. So it's perfectly set for a cat like him to be able to have full roam, full domain.
Yeah.
It's his only home. He does not have to worry about any other kitties or dogs or anything tramping on his territory. He can be able to have his humans and be safe. It was not an easy transition or decision to make, but we know that we were doing the right thing for him. And in making that decision, that opens up the space of, again, more of the room and more of the space to be like, what are the whips? What are the things we need to look at? What are the projects that we don't want to not have go unaccomplished this year?
Right.
And it has been a very interesting set of circumstances for us to kind of be like, okay, this feels like the season that we are in. This feels like the right thing to do.
Right.
And so, like I said, because my home has been my project, I'm probably not for a little while going to have physical things to show you guys, except for the whips that I am trying to finish. And so be in mind that my theme might not be a fresh item as much as old items that I'm going to finish, revamp, and get taken care of, because that's the mood I'm in. I'm in the mood of accomplishing and having be refreshed, have it meet its home, its
and
purpose,
get it done and mark it off the list.
Yes, but I do have a couple of things to show you guys, and one of them is when my daughter goes to Sunday school, they have this thing where if you are, remember your Bible verse, you get a toy from the toy box. And from my understanding, my daughter got this from the toy box. And wow. I don't know who made it. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's prior existence, and maybe the teacher made it. Maybe this is one of those things where maybe it's one of those things where it was a toy that was found at a Goodwill or whatever and put into the toy box, or just an old toy that was wanting to give new life. But this little guy, this little crocheted little bear, it just has so much little floppy character, has that pointy little nose. It's just this teardrop shaped head with it's a circle with a domed face, has the ears, has the arms, the body, and then they just made little ruffles that turned into the sleeves and the little skirt, and I think it's so cute. Put a little bow on it, and I don't know. I just think it's so cute, and I know that my daughter earned it, even though my son's the one who took it, and I don't know why. But it's one of those things that I thought it was so cute. And it's one of those things, again, I am so sorry I'm tripping over my words. My son being in my peripheral vision just kind of knocked my train of thought out of my head. I love seeing the life that something can have and not even know where it begun. The fact that that toy, it feels like it's been worn, it feels like it's been loved, and it looks like it's an older design, right, tells me that this toy could have had so many different lives before it found us. And I love to think that where are the toys that I have made for others going to be in 20 years? Yeah. Will they have been passed down? Will they have made it that long? I understand that not every single thing will be, but it's like, will it be loved? Will it find home? Will your
grandkids be playing with them?
It just is one of those things where it's really exciting to think, what will it be like? What will this look like? How will this happen? And so, yeah, I saw that, and it was very inspiring, and I thought it was really cool to kind of be like, I don't know who made this, but it's in my home now, and it's a nice little crocheted bear that my daughter found some sort of resonance in. I don't know if it's just the toy itself or whether she could tell it was homemade, but it was one of those like, aw, you chose a crocheted thing. I just love that. In the spirit of getting whips done, I have this Bucky's blanket, fleece blanket that was a Christmas gift to my son a couple years back. And it has a nice red ribbon trim that has, over time, snapped off of the main fleece part of the blanket. So I'm just sewing that back on. Like I said, this is a whips get done / just need to accomplish getting other things done sort of out of the basket pile that I'm just trying to get done in the season of just take the time to just not forget the small things and get it done.
Yeah.
And so no project is too small to just kind of be a relief to knowing that it's off.
Yeah, just marking it off that list.
I am just trying to be an encouragement to you. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to be like, okay, I'm going to get that button on. I'm going to get that that sock sewn. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get that blanket that I really don't want to get done. I'm going to pull that quilt out. I'm going to get that doily done. I'm going to
We have to do those practical things too.
So, yep. So this is something that will get accomplished, but something, like I said, that I will be working on that is more in the aspect of my home. Like I've said, there is a project that I saw, that I envisioned, that I had inspiration from, that my husband then ended up executing for me, which was the little mini table that's behind my couch.
Right.
I know that might be hard for some people to kind of visualize, but it's practically just like enough to be able to hold a mug on. It's a very short board that's being held up like a little small table. And what it is that I saw this on Pinterest, I think, a long time ago. And the idea was that if you want to if you're not a fan of coffee tables on the side of your couch and your couch is up against a wall, you can just slightly pull it out like 6 inches and place what is essentially a wall table behind the couch.
The whole length of the couch.
The whole length of the couch. That's about no more than 5 to 6 inches of a board that is supported by obviously legs. Then you push it where it's sandwiched between the wall and the couch. And now you have something where you can kind of go back and put something on the back of the couch, almost kind of like a windowsill or something.
Yeah, like you can put a Kleenex box or your glasses or your mugs.
And my husband made it for me, and I love that thing. But I'm in a position where, like I said, as I'm trying to get tables to not be collectibles and even that to be a collectible, I'm trying to work on all those things. I was thinking, what if I made like a little table runner for it? Yeah. So that it won't get stained and hurt and damaged.
There you go. And
my furniture is kind of like this beige, tan, browns.
Yeah.
In that. And so I have this brown yarn. I was thinking about just knitting one huge strip. And if it curls at the ends, because most of the time knits do curl,
yeah.
I can, in theory, on the ends, I can border it or, block it on just the ends. Or I can potentially kind of make little corner flabs at the end where I put tassels so it kind of weighs down on both sides. But I'm scared that my cat might possibly play with it. But I could potentially crochet like a string where I then kind of almost like tie it in underneath the table where it won't be seen, almost like a bungee where I just make sure that it stays strapped on. But yeah, no, I just think that it might not be a bad idea to just make something that will essentially be just one huge, long, nice coaster, practically. But it will be thin enough, but it kind of will remember, as I'm making it, it probably will feel like one long scarf, but it's going to be functionary. So yeah, that's one thing I'll be working on. And yeah, I am happy with, I don't know, there's so many things and so many projects that I'm trying to not forget about while also staying productive, while also realizing that for the things that I want to be able to accomplish this year, especially with the doll making and the toy making that I want to get better at, this essentially still requires all the little practical projects to be accomplished. This requires me to still keep up with other parts of my life, which is keeping up with the house, keeping up with the kids, keeping up with life, making sure that these projects don't get so high that I'm drowning in them. And I'm trying to find a little bit better of a balance, especially now that Christmas is gone and there's been so many different breaths of fresh air. Even with the people that we were housing for a while that were living with us like roommates, so many change has happened. They've moved out. My daughter's in school. My son will be going to school this coming school season. There's so many different changes that I'm just recognizing and I'm just trying to learn to appreciate. And this year just feels like the year of getting things done.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it. And I don't know, maybe that's just kind of my word for the year, just getting things done, just finally having the things I've been waiting for finally be accomplished, just make it the year of just starting and just...
Yep, the keep going,
having the whips become finished projects, having everything get done, not have things, piles of stuff everywhere, not, being able to feel like I'm able to breathe.
Yeah.
In my own life, because things can get so complicated, and it can just be so simple to take the time. And like I said, with Mom was talking about how nice it is to just do the three, the three, the three, the three. That is a granny square, but there's also a breath of fresh air I've been finding. And man, I have that old stack of mail that I just have not gone to, that I know is not important, but I probably should look at before I throw it away. I'm gonna take 5 minutes and get it done. Then that stack of pile is gone. Everything else on this table might not be fully done yet, but that's done. I don't know what it is, but taking those 5 minutes to make those good decisions,
Right.
even if in the grand scheme of things, everything else is still on the table, you still got that done. Right. And that is still going in the right direction of, we are getting it done.
Exactly.
These small choices going in this direction will accumulate and become the greater force that is not against you but for you.
And a good habit to get into.
So yeah, I don't know. And my kids are now at that age where more independence is possible and being more executed, and they're not as reliant on me. Me and my mom ended up helping me babysit one of my best friend's youngest, and he's not 2 yet, and he is.
We realized how hard that was.
Well, it's not that it was hard, but just how far removed we are from that age regarding the kids now. It's just
he didn't know the rules of the house, and these kids do. And then he also isn't talking yet, per se. He likes to grunt and groan, but he doesn't really talk too much yet. I got a feeling he's just going to talk in full sentences when he does, but he's taking it all in. And he was so cute, and he was doing things so adorably, but we're so used to 4 and 5 year olds now. We're not used to before 2. Yeah. And so it was a big deal for us to keep on top of him, because he was a mover and a getter.
And it's fantastic and awesome, but it's just one of those things where it's like,
it took both of us.
It was one of those things where I think I would have been fine if I babysat him in his own home, because it would have been his own environment, had all his toys, had all his things. But just, I don't know, the sense of you're able to reflect and realize how far you've come. And not that a baby is anywhere near going backwards, but just even my own self realizing that my children have come so far. We have come so far. Our ability to work as a unit has come so far.
Yeah.
And I sometimes forget that in the grand scheme of still being stuck in this feeling of I'm so close to what is that I can't take a step back to realize how far we've come.
Right,
because I'm still so stuck in the moment that I'm like, I need to take a step back and realize.
Right.
I need to take a step back and appreciate where we're going, because even like I said, like, we get rid of our crib because we have friends that are about to have a baby, and we're getting rid of all these stuff, and it's just like, it's just such a new season. Yeah. We're in such a new season. It's so cool and refreshing and awesome, but also just like stunning and a shock, because you get so used to seeing the same environment that even just going into my son's room, and even though he's been in a toddler bed, realizing that toddler bed's about to get out because he's about to get his big boy bed, realizing that crib that has been disassembled leaning up against his wall is no longer there, has been a stark difference too. Just like, it's like those small environmental, like the landscape of my house is changing. Like, the stuff is still there, but the landscape, the background, it's starting to shift in a way that I'm just like, wow, it just feels so nice.
This is my house.
Yes.
With that, we have a verse today, or not a verse, it's a quote today. And it says, do what you can with what you have where you are. It's kind of perfect for today.
Wow, yeah.
That was said by Theodore Roosevelt. So, do what you can with what you have where you are. And isn't that, with Sarah cleaning her house and making, getting the whips done and doing what she can with what she has wherever she is. It's kind of perfect for today.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's just one of those things where, like, it kind of reminds me of the whole, I remember getting tips from people who obviously have been doing and living the busier life longer than I have. And one of the simplest things that they said was collect errands for one errand day. Collect things for a very specific time. Work smarter, not harder. And I'm not saying that this is exactly that, but just those things of sometimes instead of splitting it into, I have to get this done, so I gotta go right now, to I'm going to save it for my errands box, my errands list. What does that mean? When my errands hit a certain amount of time, I will go on my errands day and get it done.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, boom, it's done. Getting it done. I don't know. The ability to live life so much more efficiently, I feel is like what I'm feeling like. Is like with the age of my children and all these things, I feel like I'm living life at a different level of efficiency.
Right.
And it's just, it feels so good. So yeah, do what you can with what you have where you are. Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we hope that you could relate and get inspired and or just feel the vibe of what we're, talking about. Yes, leave a comment.
Thumbs up, like, subscribe, tell your friends.
We are always loving to hear from you guys and again to just
chat with you guys.
See where you guys are at with your journey when it comes to crafts and life and everything. I feel like 2024 is going to be a good year, and I'm just excited, and I can't wait to see what our channel is going to do and where everyone that it gets to be along for the ride is going to be able to accomplish this year as well. So as always, we are so grateful that you stuck around and hung out with us today. And until next time, we hope that you stitch your way
to mental health.